Welcome to Heartfelt Life Diaries. Today we share a powerful story about resilience, proving that quiet discipline often speaks louder than words. In a world obsessed with appearances and loud achievements, there are some silent warriors who fight battles that nobody else can see. Meet Ravi, a student who walked these halls with a heavy burden on his shoulders, but an unbreakable spirit in his heart. While others focused on social status and the latest trends, Ravi had a singular focus that anchored him to his daily reality. He always arrived 10 minutes early to claim the same spot, the third seat from the window in the very last row. He possessed no expensive gadgets or designer clothes, only a stack of second-hand books that he treated with the utmost respect. To his classmates, he was just a shadow in the background, a silent presence who never spoke up unless he was asked. But behind that quiet demeanor lay a discipline forged in fire, a routine born not out of choice, but out of necessity. When the lectures ended and the sun began to set, the real challenge of his day was only just beginning to start. While his peers gathered at cafes to relax and socialize, Ravi navigated the city streets to reach his second life as a worker. Hidden away near the noisy train station was a small tea shop where Ravi worked the night shift to survive the city. Every rupee earned here went toward his tuition fees, his rent, and most importantly, medicine for his sick mother back home. The noise of the trains and the chatter of customers became the soundtrack of his nights, a stark contrast to the library. He felt a pang of embarrassment when classmates passed by, but he swallowed his pride, knowing that honest work was nothing to hide. In the rare, quiet moments between customers, he would steal a few minutes to review formulas and theories under the dim light. Every bill he collected was a lifeline, a promise that he could keep fighting for another day and keep his dreams alive. His mother was his sole motivation, the reason he endured sleepless nights, and the physical exhaustion that constantly weighed on his young body. Sleep was a luxury he could rarely afford, often catching only a few hours before the cycle of school and work repeated. Despite the fatigue, he never complained. He believed that this struggle was temporary and that education was his only way out. He remained generous with his knowledge, never letting his hardships turn him bitter or cold toward those who had easier lives. But life has a way of testing those who are already struggling. One phone call would soon threaten to shatter his fragile balance. His mother had fallen severely ill. The medical bills would be astronomical, far more than what his tea shop wages could cover. He faced an impossible choice: continue his education or save his mother. He knew exactly what he had to do in that moment. He requested a few weeks off to work extra shifts, promising the professor that he would return in time for the final exams. Leaving the campus felt like leaving a part of himself behind, but the love for his mother gave him the strength to walk away. The weeks that followed were a blur of exhaustion. He took on double shifts, working until his body screamed for rest and relief. He refused to let his mind atrophy. Under the harsh glow of streetlights, he turned the sidewalk into his personal library and study hall. Indignities were common, but Ravi's dignity came from within. He treated his education as sacred, no matter where he was studying. He sent every penny home, lying in his letters that he was eating well and sleeping enough, shielding her from his pain. His dreams kept him warm in the cold reality of his life. He visualized the finish line whenever he felt like collapsing. Even in the harsh environment of the streets, kindness existed. People saw his struggle and silently rooted for the boy with the books. Finally, the news he prayed for arrived. His mother was out of danger. The weight on his chest lifted, replaced by renewed determination. With the crisis averted, he realized he had only 3 days left to prepare for the most important exams of his entire life. He entered a state of total focus. Every second was utilized. Sleep was abandoned. He was running on pure adrenaline and willpower now. He returned to the campus looking like a ghost, thin and exhausted, but carrying an aura of strength that silenced the whispers. The gossip didn't matter. The doubts of others didn't matter. All that mattered was the paper in front of him, and the pen. He poured weeks of streetlights studying onto the pages. The answers flowed from his mind, forged in the fires of his recent hardships. It wasn't just memory. It was understanding deeper than anyone else's, earned through the sacrifice of comfort and the embrace of struggle. As he handed in his paper, he didn't know the result, but he knew he had given absolutely everything he had to give. He walked out into the sun, not as a victim of circumstance, but as a survivor who had refused to let life break him. When the results were posted, a silence fell over the crowd. The boy who served tea at night had outperformed them all. He wasn't there to bask in the glory. He was back at work, sharing the victory with the only person whose opinion truly mattered. Graduation day arrived. Amidst the sea of black robes and caps, Ravi stood out, not for his grades, but for what he carried. He wasn't holding flowers or gifts. He was carrying the old wooden chair from the back of the classroom up to the stage. As his name was called as valedictorian, he walked up, placed the chair down, and stood before the microphone to address the stunned audience. He looked at the crowd, then at the chair, and began to speak with a voice that was steady, humble, and deeply emotional. He told them that this chair was not just furniture, it was his anchor when the storms of life tried to blow him away. He explained that when he wanted to quit, when his legs were tired from standing all night, this chair offered him support and stability. He shared that success isn't about the applause at the end, but about sitting in the chair and doing the work when nobody watches. The room was moved to tears. They realized that while they saw a student, he had been fighting a war they knew nothing about. He concluded with a simple message. When life gives you 100 reasons to quit, find one reason to sit down and keep going. The applause that followed was not for his grades, but for his character. He had taught them a lesson no textbook ever could. He walked down to his mother, placing his degree in her hands. Her sacrifice had been validated. Her son had become a man of honor. Years later, Ravi became a successful professional. Yet, on his desk, he kept a small replica of that wooden chair as a reminder. He never forgot where he came from. The discipline he learned in the tea shop and the classroom remained the foundation of his life. Ravi's story is a testament to the power of showing up. It is proof that resilience can bloom in the most unforgiving concrete. We all have our own chair in life, a place of duty, a routine we must follow, a struggle we must silently endure. Whatever your challenge is today, do not despise the humble beginnings. Do not hate the hard work that nobody sees or applauds. To the night shift workers, the early risers, and the silent students, your efforts are building a foundation that will one day support your dreams. Success is not an accident. It is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out, regardless of how you feel. And when you finally make it, remember to look back. Remember the struggle and extend a hand to those who are still sitting in their chairs. Your story can be the light for someone else. Your victory can prove to them that their current pain is not permanent. So tonight, if you are tired, if you feel like giving up, look up at the stars and know that you are not alone. Embrace the grind. Love the discipline. For it is in the quiet moments of struggle that your true character is being carved. Be like the lighthouse that stands firm in the storm. Let your persistence be your power, and let your success be your noise. Make your past self proud. Honor the sacrifices you have made by refusing to settle for anything less than what you deserve. Every sunrise brings a new opportunity to sit in your chair and do the work. The world is waiting for what you have to offer. Happiness is sweeter when you have tasted the bitterness of hardship. Victory is more precious when you have fought for every inch. Keep writing your story. Do not let difficult chapters define the ending. You hold the pen, and you have the power to change everything. Be the flame that never goes out. Let your passion burn brighter than your fears, and let your discipline guide you through the dark. Ravi's journey from the tea stall to the top of his class is a reminder that where you start does not determine where you finish. Thank you for witnessing this journey. We hope Ravi's story inspires you to find your own chair and stick to your own path. Life is a diary of our efforts. Make sure that when you look back, you have written a story worth reading and remembering. This has been another entry in the Heartfelt Life Diaries. If this story touched your heart, please share it with someone who needs hope. Don't forget to subscribe to Heartfelt Life Diaries for more stories of resilience and humanity. Until next time, keep believing and keep going.